My name's Carly, and I chose the hippocampus as my favorite part of the brain for our assignment. So, what we know about the hippocampus, it's located in the limbic system, which is associated with emotions and behaviors, and the limbic system also is associated with your senses and things like when you exercise, like when you sweat, and your heart rate. And the basic role for the hippocampus is to take short term memories and it stores them and into long term storage so that you can go back and retrieve and recall memories. If someone asks you, do you remember when we did this? Do you remember when we rode our bicycles this one day? You can be able to think back and remember that. It also allows you to navigate and remember locations. So, like if you're driving to the store, obviously, you know how to get to the store if you go there multiple times, so it allows you to do that. And it is crucial for memory and retrieval and helps us connect our emotional experiences to memories. So it allows us to have an emotional connection to memories and people and how we view certain memories. So the history of the word hippocampus, which I found was super interesting, comes from the Greek words hippo, which means horse, and campus, meaning sea monster, which if you research on the hippocampus, you'll find that a lot of pictures of like seahorses will pop up, which making sense because it comes from the word sea monster and the word hippo, which means horse, which I thought was super interesting, which I did not know. So what is the hippocampal formation? So as you'll see in the image, you have the hippocampus proper, which is in the CA2 part of the hippocampus. And then you have the dentate gyrus, which is in the main middle portion of the hippocampus right here. And then we're going to have the choroid plexus, which is this material here. And then the fimbria, which is going to be this blue section right here, the lateral ventricle, which is this white outer layer right here, and then the subiculum is this right here, and then the parahippocampal gyrus, which is a section of the hippocampus down there. So the hippocampus is a bigger part of the formation, which includes all of these things shown in the image, like the dentate gyrus, subiculum, and anterior cortex. The dentate gyrus is an input region that receives information from the anterior cortex. So a condition that can damage the hippocampus, Alzheimer's disease. Alzheimer's disease causes a decline in memory, thinking, and organizing skills. Later on, also can take over your motor skills. And it affects the hippocampus because it deprives the brain of its memory retaining skills. So as you know, the hippocampus is in charge for short-term memory. Usually people with Alzheimer's, if say they meet someone and you introduce yourself, I would say, "Hi, I'm Carly, nice to meet you." If you asked them 5 minutes later, they probably would not be able to remember that my name was Carly because it's damage to their hippocampus because they cannot retain that short-term memory to their long-term memory, versus usually people with Alzheimer's can remember something that happened a long time ago, like things about their children that happened a long time ago, where they live. Sometimes they can pick out specific details from a long time ago, versus if you were to tell them something new and then ask them 5 minutes later, they probably would not understand. So these are some symptoms of hippocampus damage, which obviously memory loss, because, as I previously stated, like with Alzheimer's, when there's damage to your hippocampus, you cannot retain that short-term memory because it does not process to your long-term memory. Mood changes and seizures. Seizures was one that I learned was new because, usually when it comes to seizures, like it's usually like a different part of your brain, but when I was researching, like with the hippocampus, when there's damage to it, like enough damage, it can cause seizures. Having trouble making decisions, having conversations, recalling where items are, and creating new memories. These are some big symptoms that you have damage to the hippocampus part of your brain. Damage to the hippocampus usually only targets your short-term memory because your long-term memory is not stored in the hippocampus. So, like I said previously about, people not remembering something you told them 5 minutes ago, that's usually a sign of hippocampus damage. So right here is a comparison. On the left side of the screen, we have a picture of a normal brain. The wording kind of got a little cut off, but we have a picture of a normal brain, like a normal healthy brain. You see how it's very normal in size, very healthy looking, no discoloration. And on the right, we have a brain with Alzheimer's. So as you can see, it's a little bit smaller, more shriveled up, and you can see it has these dark pathways that usually should not be like that. You see how it's kind of shriveled up. Usually it's supposed to be, this color. You see the discoloration in here. This is a person that had Alzheimer's versus a normal brain. So as you can tell, this is a very unhealthy brain versus a very healthy brain. As you can tell, this person has a lot of damage to their whole brain. More than likely, if you looked on the inside of this brain, you would see the hippocampus, and it would probably be very damaged and be very discolored. So this is a photo of a more detailed description of the hippocampus. So it kind of shows you'll see the letters right here. So like letter D is going to be, this is all that's going to be in that area of the hippocampus. So it shows you like anterior, posterior, medial, and lateral. So you'll see C in right here. It kind of shows you. So this is going to be our main area of the hippocampus, and it's all of these are pointing out different sections. So this is that dendral gyrus right here. So this is the next slide talking about keeping your brain strong, specifically your hippocampus. So the aspect of being social is super important. Playing with pets, bonding with people, experiencing a very loving relationship is very important to, keep your brain, healthy and having good memories, good emotions. And then we go to the creative aspect. So, reading, painting, knitting, anything that you're going to kind of use your brain, or, you're listening to something, whether it's music or you're listening to a book or a podcast, playing games, that allow you to use your brain is a very good way to keep your brain healthy, as well as problem solving. Puzzles are a great way of keeping your brain healthy because it makes you think and put things together. And also card games, it forces you to, use your brain and kind of think ahead and be like kind of quick depending on what game you're playing. And then drinking water, sleeping, being by yourself, being in silence, super important, as well as writing. Writing can force your brain to, write a story that can force your brain to, produce something good, like that you can write. So this is a slide about hippocampus health. It's crucial to eat balanced meals to keep your brain and body healthy. Lots of research shows that eating greens like kale, spinach, things like that, dark greens, are so important for your brain health because they have so many antioxidants and probiotics that are so good for your brain health. Getting good sleep is also super important. And reading, listening to music, and socializing with others is a great way to overall improve your brain health, and also managing stress in a healthy way. And then why I chose the hippocampus as my favorite part of the brain is because its main function is to store memories. And I feel like happy memories are things everyone should be able to remember, and it's very important to, keep your brain healthy and be able to recall those happy memories when asked about them or when you're talking about them. It is also important that the hippocampus allows you to learn more about your environment, which I also feel is very important because it's very crucial to be able to kind of be aware of your environment and learn more about what type of, situation or environment that you're in, whether it's a happy environment or kind of a negative environment where, you can process as if you need to change your lifestyle or change your environment. So that's my presentation on why I chose hippocampus, and I hope you enjoyed.